Hello and welcome to the VMware sponsored session for the IGEL Disrupt 2020 event. My name is Scott Lindsay. I work in the EU team for Northern Europe. And I'm sure you're all here to find out how we deployed 38,000 seats in just 5 days. So we'll get to that shortly. Okay, so just want to go over a couple of points. COVID's obviously been massive disruption for many organizations, but I think our strategy has been around for 5 years and is now even more relevant than it was when it was designed. We want to just drill into that for a couple of minutes. Secondly, VMware is all about choice, always has been, and I think this is even more critical now as organizations decide on what their future strategies are going to look like given the current situation. And how they're going to basically, adopt hybrid technology and allow their users and employees and customers to consume services remotely and from anywhere. And then finally, we'll just talk briefly about why our large account decided to move wholesale to Azure, what the reasoning for that was, and the success they've seen. Okay, so briefly, if you're not familiar with VMware, or if you haven't looked at VMware recently, we have basically four sort of pillars to what we're about. Number one, provide those users, employees with the ability to consume services from anywhere on any device, really simple. And that obviously we've adopted that solution, and it's allowed us to basically continue our business during this period of time which we find ourselves in with zero disruption. In fact, we're probably as productive, if not more productive, than we were when we were going to the offices. So, from an employee perspective, any device, choice of device, delivered to you, up and running in minutes. From an application perspective, we see customers on that journey to cloud native or SaaS. However, they've still got an investment in traditional applications that probably most likely run their business today. So we support any application, and we can provide you with technologies to consume those applications safely and modernize through Kubernetes containers, for example. And then from a data center infrastructure perspective, and this has been critical over the last few months, we have technology that allows you to run on-prem securely and then basically burst to the cloud, creating hybrid infrastructure on any major hypervisor and hyperscaler. So it's really simple strategy, more relevant than ever. And we've seen many customers who have invested in VMware technology fare better than those that haven't or were unable to have a hybrid strategy. And that's been really critical the last few months. So where does virtual desktop fit into all of this? As part of our Workspace ONE solution, which delivers a single environment for the user to consume services. And one of those services could happen to be virtualized apps or desktops. So what are my options? Been working with VDI end user computing for well over 15 years. Back in the day, a lot of these applications were designed to work basically next to each other. There wasn't this gap, or hybrid infrastructure. Cloud was barely getting off the ground. So yes, cloud provides lots of great features, flexibility, subscription services, all these fantastic things. However, there are some fundamentals that some organizations struggle with. If you've got a lot of Windows applications, and many organizations do, you still need that Windows infrastructure to continue to run them, but you may want to move to cloud. Secondly, lots of applications were designed with another sort of architecture in mind. They were never designed to span, up into a cloud service, for example. So that these are limitations that need to be resolved. And finally, not all applications were designed to work from anywhere. And they need maybe application, there might be resources on-prem, the security model might not be able to change, there might be compliance reasons. So there's a bunch of reasons that we see customers try to struggle with this adoption of subscription services. You know, it's not simple. However, we do have technology that can enable it. So prior to COVID, we were seeing probably 4 distinct use cases for the use of VDI from the cloud, apps or desktop. DR, business continuity, obviously you've seen a massive uptick in that. And again, for remote locations, we've also seen a lot of customers use it for M&A, allow you to bring multiple organizations together and give you a seamless experience. Again, prior to COVID, a lot of organizations looking to move those application workloads to the cloud to leverage the flexibility of cloud. However, they still had some legacy, so that was another use case. And again, organizations that had a cloud first strategy or hybrid, looking to basically consume services from the cloud. Now with COVID kicking in, massive demand for hybrid cloud expansion. And obviously business continuity. There's a lot of customers who have fared very well using their on-prem business continuity solutions, but now they need some additional capacity to meet some new demands in their business that they're not able to service simply on-prem. So multiple use cases, all massively relevant today, and will continue to be for the next 2 or 3 years as organizations start to change their business strategies. So again, if you've not looked at VMware recently or are unaware, we partner with every major hyperscaler, Azure, Oracle, AWS, and Google, to name a few, IBM, and Alibaba. So we're there to give choice. Each of these clouds have their own benefits, and it's for you as a customer to decide which of these cloud platforms give you the most bang for your buck. And from a VMware perspective, we support all of these technologies and all of these providers that enable you to have choice as well. So across all of these different hyperscalers, we have our Horizon service. And the fundamental principle of this is we will deliver consistency of management and security and reducing cost. They're the sort of pillars of, from an IT business perspective. And then from a user experience perspective, we want to give you best in class, regardless of if you're running on Azure or IBM or on-prem. So over the next 6 months, we will have all of these capabilities out of our environment. Today we have universal brokering capability. We've got image management, helps you reduce the amount of images you're running cross cloud. We've just announced app volumes, which allows you to basically package an application once and distribute it across all the cloud providers. We have, end user experience monitoring via ControlUp, which allows us to do proactive end user experience monitoring regardless of where you are. And we're building in a lifecycle management engine, again, to sort of simplify how you consume these services from the cloud. Key point is this technology is evolving, it's subscription, and you need one license to run all of this. So regardless if you're running on-prem or in the cloud, it's a single license, really simple. Okay, so you may or may not be aware, but Microsoft VMware, we've got some really exciting technologies jointly developing, and we are enabling Microsoft customers to take VMware technology into the cloud, and we're also building on top of Microsoft technology to give you best-in-class user experience. So if you look at, we have 2 distinct solutions today. One that runs on native Azure, that's the right-hand column. We leverage all of the benefits of Windows Virtual Desktop, license benefits, feature benefits, and we bring some additional capabilities on top. On the left-hand side of the screen is a solution that is actually a Microsoft solution using our technology. So you're able to run our data center technology fully supported in Azure. So what that means is you can basically take your licenses, you can get extended Windows Server support on AVS, and that's massive for a lot of organizations. The next version of AVS will be available in Europe, October timeframe. This is a Microsoft first-party product sold by Microsoft, and you can consume it through the Azure portal. So let's just dive in quickly to what AVS is. Effectively, our best-of-breed hypervisor technology that's been around for many, many years on-prem, now fully available on Azure. And again, Microsoft have taken that and added some bells and whistles to this. So it's fully integrated into the Azure portal. It's a first-party service from Microsoft. And effectively, you can consume our best-of-breed technology from Microsoft. And then you can then add in a bunch of third-party services that reside in Azure to then improve that further. So it's the best of all worlds. On the native side, so on AVS runs Horizon. So again, you can build a hybrid infrastructure. You can also run Horizon natively on Azure. And this is where we spent a lot of time. We've seen a lot of customers adopt this due to COVID, massive acceleration of Windows Virtual Desktop, massive acceleration of Horizon. One of the reasons for that is really simple. We provide the ability for customers to run through a single pane of glass, regardless of where you are. And that gives a lot of flexibility to customers. As I said, our technology, we've been running with an Azure service for over 3 years. And we've basically just extended that to support Windows Virtual Desktop. And the key thing is we are using the APIs from Microsoft. Okay, so what that means is single pane of glass, multiple instances, automation, simplicity. They're really the key things. So if you look at the sort of 3 areas that we're really doubling down on, how to accelerate cloud adoption, and that's really making it simple. Hybrid is absolutely critical for a lot of organizations, and we fully support that both from a data center perspective and end user. Give you a common set of management tools, and we're able to give services globally. How do we reduce your cost spend? Well, we provide some features that are not available in native Microsoft products, for example. Power management's a great example. Literally profile how you turn resources off automatically. And we also support more than just what's available natively. And then the most critical piece of this is really providing those remote users now the best experience in class. And we integrate with some solutions from Microsoft, such as FS Logic, using to give you a really responsive login and security solution there. We're able to, we've done a lot of work on our protocol, especially now we're in a cloud world, to allow you to reduce your egress costs. And that's really critical if you're running at scale. And the other part is we can not only manage the backend infrastructure, the VDIs and the apps, we can also manage those endpoint devices, such as an IGEL device or a Windows device. So there are sort of 3 pillars that we're really doubling down on with Microsoft. And we believe that we provide best in class when you bring the entire VMware capabilities with Microsoft. So if we just quickly have a look at the Windows Virtual Desktop native solution. So just want to draw your attention to a couple of things. We are plugging into the APIs of Azure. So this is very critical when you're looking at doing upgrades, for example, but also we can then provide some capabilities that are not necessarily available with native. Secondly, we integrate directly into the Azure subscription of the customer or partner. So that gives you cost transparency. So you're consuming the services and you can see that in your portal. And thirdly, we've built this solution for the cloud. We're not taking technology that was built for on-prem and now trying to make it run in the cloud. This technology was built day one for the cloud, high levels of automation. You can be up and running in 90 minutes into production. And we've absolutely got customers that have gone from 0 footprint to production environments in that period of time. Okay, so from an end user perspective, all you need to bring is Active Directory, and that doesn't necessarily need to be Azure Active Directory. It could be on-prem. You need obviously an Azure tenant, your AD, your operating system, licenses, and then you can either use our base builds or build your own, and then obviously integrate into your applications. You can use VPN or ExpressRoute to connect your data centers. Really straightforward. Then VMware is basically providing this automation layer, the abstraction layer between the Azure data center and you as an organization. And we're providing software updates, patching, management, all those great things that come from the control plane. And then obviously Microsoft is providing all of the infrastructure capabilities. Now we have handoffs between our support teams and Microsoft. So again, if you ever had an issue, our support teams will front face the service call, and then we'll work directly with the Microsoft teams in the back. And it's been very successful. We are also building out engineering level integration with the Azure platform, and that's something we can get into at a future date. So let's just quickly look at the Windows Virtual Desktop stack, basically. So obviously you get your Azure capability, and then you get this Windows Virtual Desktop license entitlement, which basically allows you to have these capabilities, multi-session, massive. Microsoft's saying 90% of the consumption today of WVD is multi-session. So that's many users to one VM. That's how you keep your costs down. Secondly, extended support for Windows 7. Again, massive benefit for customers who are maybe struggling to get to Win 10 due to legacy applications. Okay, so we have our Horizon service. Using APIs, we now have those license benefits. Microsoft provides you with some capability. And then we look to basically add on to those capabilities, just like we do with other Microsoft technology, and provide you with more scale, better features, better security. So that allows us to give you, features that may not exist today in Microsoft, but are coming, and you have those today. A couple of things to highlight. One, you've got a choice of protocols. Again, depending on the use case, different protocols may be better for certain circumstances. We have power management, advanced power management, which means that we can basically turn off and turn on services automatically. We've had customers save, 30, 50, 60% because of that feature alone on the Azure consumption. We provide hybrid capability. Again, difficult to do with other providers. So there are just three sort of capabilities that we have that you may not get automatically or in the next few months from Microsoft. So again, there's a lot of reasons to have a look at this technology. The other thing to say is with Horizon, there is zero scripting. So that makes it really simple for customers to stand up and get productive. Final point, so Microsoft give you license entitlement to things like FS Logic. We absolutely integrate into that using our dynamic environment manager, which basically gives you, really responsive logins, the ability to run Office 365, folder redirection, all these wonderful things that most users expect from the cloud and in a very efficient way. Okay, so if we were to summarize what we're doing with Microsoft, it really falls into sort of four categories, and I sort of touched on these, but we believe, at a high level, with a VMware Microsoft solution, there is no requirement really for third-party tools, and that goes beyond just the UC piece. We've got technology that could basically take out your global NetScaler F5s, can consolidate that down. VPNs, all of these sort of appliance-based solutions can now be run in the cloud, and that's been critical for organizations because they've not been able to scale those on-prem, fixed assets to support the new demand. We absolutely sit on the cloud. We can deliver that today. We're the only organization, only vendor that can deliver really true hybrid. Yes, some of our competitors have solutions that span multiple clouds on an EUC perspective or on a data center perspective, but not both. So we're probably the only vendor that has a hybrid, true hybrid strategy, both for data center and the EUC space. We're absolutely working with Microsoft and other hyperscalers to reduce costs. We purchased a company 18 months back, Cloud Health, market leading, allows us to optimize costs, and we're looking to build that into our data center and EUC solutions. And finally, and the most important, we are looking to give you best in class end user experience, whether that's on a Mac, on a Windows device, Linux, IGEL, whatever. We are all about choice. But in saying that, that choice shouldn't be degraded because it's not a consistent experience. So what we're looking to be able to do is give you a consistency of the security across any device, and the users and employees are able to go in, find their applications, and operate really effectively regardless of the device. Other key areas are around our Teams. Teams, massively important now to many organizations. We've also seen a lot of uptick in GPU requirement. You know, people that are now working from home, radiographers, for example, working from garages, we're now able to support that quite simply. Or you've got customers who are, you know, CAD/CAM, but are doing that from their home environment rather than the office where they had access to high-powered devices. So again, we're all about providing best-in-class experience integrated into the Microsoft stack. So that brings me nicely on to talk about the customer who, during COVID, had to move their entire workforce to the cloud. So basically, back in early March, tail end of March, this organization, as part of the US government COVID plan, was told they had to send everybody home. That was basically, you know, 38,000 insurance agents who used to go to the office now had to work from home. The customer absolutely looked, how do I deliver this on-prem? They physically just could not get their infrastructure to scale, such as their VPNs, you know, data center, and they couldn't find the devices. So within 5 days, we had built with Microsoft and our team of 4 solution architects an environment that could support 38,000 users, and they were all working from home. Over the last 2 or 3 months, we've augmented that service. You know, we've made it more secure. It's now production ready, full production capabilities, and that customer is continuing to use that service as they change their business, as things move, which is very fluid. Now we've got umpteen instances of this where we've had customers maybe deploy 4,000 seats and have scaled up to 15,000, you know, in days. We're not talking weeks, we're talking days. This is the power that Azure brings. This is the power that VMware brings. We're not talking long lead times now for this type of project. So just to summarize, with Windows Virtual Desktop and Horizon, we've absolutely proven you can work from any device, literally from anywhere. Our technology is cloud ready, was designed to designed for the cloud, deploy in minutes. You download the client, download the infrastructure, you're up and running in 90 minutes if you follow the prereqs. We can absolutely help reduce cost. There's features in Horizon Cloud that don't exist within the native service that will take cost out for you, and we can absolutely secure your data. We've got technology coming that will be integrated into our platforms that will provide an intrinsic security model, so you will not need third-party products. If this has been of any interest to you, I hope it has, please follow some of these links. We've got a lot of great content, and you can also get access to a 90-day free trial. I would just like to thank the IGEL team again for allowing us to take part in this event. We had a great event this time last year, and we wish them best of luck for the show. Thank you.